All right, hey there, everyone. Had a little bit of technical difficulty in in getting everything to start, so hopefully everything is working well right now. I'm actually gonna just double check the stream, make sure we're good. I had to back all the way out of YouTube and start this over again. So for those of you, we're good. We're good. All right. Okay, sorry about the technical glitches. I mean, tech happens. That's what you get. For all of you who are joining, especially if you came here from the PodFest Global Summit, thank you so very much for joining us here in our iFind You Close office hours. I am Felicia Jones, the lead researcher and founder of iFind You Close, where we actually go out and search and find speaking engagements for people. So, one of the things we're going to talk about today is the simple steps to creating your own event. And I wanted to talk about this because sometimes when it feels like you can't find any stages, things are going on, and a lot of events aren't they don't have speakers in demand. Sometimes it's best to create your own stage. You know, this is the opportunity to invite people to see you do your thing live. You can invite those event coordinators, those speaker coordinators, those other people of influence that can get you on stage, people that you know that need to experience your expertise. And so we're going to talk about a few things that you can do to create your own live event. I've done a few of my own live events virtually with no cost whatsoever. As you can see right now, I'm actually going live inside of YouTube. For those of you who are inside of the iFind You Close platform, I mean, this is kind of what we do, and I figured out some ways to cut some costs, but also still deliver and have an audience so that you can see what is going on. So that's one of the biggest things that I really want to help you with, especially if you're trying to get your name out there and you're trying to get some video credibility. Of course, if you have any questions, all you have to do is put them in the comment box, and I will answer them. So let's go ahead and just get started on this thing about creating your own live event. Now, I am definitely on team use other people's stages when it comes to growing your speaking career, because I call it butts and seats. When you do your own event, your goal now is to get butts and seats. Now you're on that marketing side, you're on that invitation side, you're on the sales and email chain just to get people to show up. And I'm never against doing your own live event, but I try to tell people doing your own live event is very different than getting on somebody else's stage. So I am always priority, if you're growing your speaking event, get on somebody else's stage, because one, it grows your credibility. It grows your credibility. You don't have to go find an audience. They already have everything. You show up, do what you need to do, and make them fall in love with you. But I do know the beautiful side of doing live events. I've done my own events. It's a great way, one, to probably make a little bit of money or a lot of money, depending on where you are, to get people to see you in action. And also, it could just be fun. It could just be a lot of fun. So what we're going to do now is talk about how to do your own live event as a speaker when you are either new, you're trying to gain some credibility, you need to keep your name relevant. And that's one of the things that I've told a lot of people. Your job right now is to stay extremely relevant as a speaker. And the ways you can do that is that you got to get out and speak somehow, some kind of way. So I want to run you through a couple of ways that I have done some live events so that you can easily do your own without spending a lot of money. So the first thing that you need to do is figure out your platform of how you're going to deliver. Now, we have so many ways of delivering for a live event these days. You can do it on Facebook. You can do a Facebook Live. You can do a Zoom. We have tons of other people that are doing the live streaming content. You can also do it on YouTube. Now, the beautiful thing about some of these platforms, because you might be saying, well, how do I do a live event on YouTube? You know what? They give you the link and you can make a whole lot of magic happen. As a default, some of the easiest things that you can do are set up your Zoom meeting and just go. If you want all of the people there with you in Zoom, you can have all the little squares. Or if you're like me, I prefer that people chat so I don't have to monitor people's video being on or off, or people, being weird on camera. So those are some different ways you can do it. So choose your platform first. Learn your platform before you go do a live event. Don't do it the day before and then realize that things don't work. Been there, done that. Is not cool. So make sure you learn your platform first. Um, I think for the last few years, I've done a lot of things through Facebook Live, and it has been an amazing way to do a semi live event, a live virtual, I will say a virtual event, so that I can get my name and get myself out there. So what I probably will default to today is talking about doing a Facebook Live. I'll also talk about how I have maneuvered doing YouTube as well, so that you can create your own virtual live event. So first thing I said, make sure you choose your platform. I don't really care what it is. It could be Twitter, it could be Facebook. Just choose a platform. And I will say, when you are choosing your platform, make sure it is a platform where you can congregate everybody into either a private channel, a private group, or a private page on your website somewhere, so that you can either take the link from them and put it on your page, or you can invite everybody into whatever platform you're using. So like I said, with Facebook, the cool thing about Facebook is that you have Facebook groups. You can do a live event inside of a Facebook group, invite all the people, and go live inside of the group or on an event. I've done these during a Facebook event, so those are a really good way to do those as well. For using YouTube, I actually use YouTube, and I take the link and put it either on my website, inside of our iFind You Close platform, or I go unlisted and I make sure that people have to sign up some kind of way to get the link. All right. So we've chosen our platform. All right. The second thing that you need to do, and I have to say all of these things are free, absolutely free. The second thing that you need to do is figure out how you are going to invite people to see you. So that's the thing. You got to figure out how people are going to come and see you. For those of you who are just joining, be sure, if you got any questions, put them down in the comment box. If you are watching inside of our iFind You Close platform and there is a discussion button up there, I will be able to answer those after I'm done with this. Otherwise, just open up that link and pop over to YouTube, and you can join us doing discussions there. It's like multiple ways to talk to me. All right. So we've chosen our platform, and now we got to figure out how to invite people. I will say this: Eventbrite is amazing. It's free. If you want to charge people for your event, totally up to you. But Eventbrite is free, and I just love it because it is free, and it's something that all you have to do is spend a little bit of time to update it, and it will do pretty much handle everything for you. It'll send out reminders. You can do group blast to people. Most of the events don't go into spam. So that is something to really pay attention to. Using Eventbrite. Now, they've just made some changes to Eventbrite, so I don't know if you can run an event inside of Eventbrite these days. That would be amazing, though. But for the most part, all you need to do is make sure that the link is there to send people to wherever they need to go, and Eventbrite will handle everything. You can put in your pixels, you can move them to email lists. It's a great way, it's an easy way, simply easy way to just get people on your list, and you can connect these to so many other social platforms that, and not that it's going to do everything for you, but it does help. It does help so that you don't have to think so hard, because that's the last thing you want to do when we're putting on our own event. We don't want to think so hard, especially if we're doing something virtual. So that is something I want you to pay attention to. Of course, you have your own email list. You can do email blast. You can do the social media blast. You can do everything. But one of the things I will say is that I will definitely put an in-between of people coming to your event, because it is nice to know who's signing up. You want to get those emails onto your email list so that you can keep communicating with them later. If you are going to use something like Facebook events to do your live event, that's okay. Just know that you might miss out on the opportunity to gather email addresses. So you just need to make sure your call to action is really powerful so that you can benefit from it later. So for the most part, at this point, we've talked about choosing your platform, where you're going to deliver your live event, and how to invite people. I will say for most people, if you are a Facebook person, just do Facebook. It's easy. You can set up a Facebook event. You can get everybody in there, and it's great. Now, one of the tricks that I have learned with Facebook events is even if people say they're not sure if they're going to show up for your event, if you keep doing some little advertisements inside of the event page, they all get it. They all get it. Even if they don't want to, even if they said they didn't want to come to the event, they'll probably click on a video anyway and watch. So that's a really cool way to get some people to your own live event. Now, here's what I will say: when you are doing your own live event, especially virtual, up front, please make sure you tell people before you even start. Tell people that you want testimonials. Let them know, like, hey, if you are loving anything that I'm saying, please make sure you drop a testimonial down in the comments, because that's where you're going to go grab those testimonials and get that credibility so that you can use it later. Okay. So those are the things we want to pay attention to. So I will say this: to do your own live event, especially virtual, is very simple. Doing an in-person live event, not so simple. Things just get ratcheted up a little bit harder, okay? So choose your platform where you want to deliver your live virtual event. The second thing is figure out how you're going to invite. I recommend using Facebook, Facebook Live, Facebook events, or creating a very specific group just for your event on Facebook so that you can deliver the videos there. It's really easy. And that way you can download those videos later. You can use them on your website. You can turn them into a course and monetize them so that people can come and access later. I just highly recommend using it. Use Eventbrite. It's so easy. It takes out all of the guesswork. People just sign up. They get tickets. They get reminders. You can do an email blast just reminding people where they need to go. And it's easy. And the other thing is you can track where people came from with your event. I'm trying to think of other things that I've done. To be honest, I've made it that simple when it comes to doing a virtual event, using Facebook and using Eventbrite. Some other ways, like I like using YouTube, honestly, for doing a live event for a webinar. You just have to have a platform to deliver, or you'll just have to use your own. Actually, to be honest, no, you don't. I did this before when I did one of the workshops for iFind You Close. You use Eventbrite. I use Eventbrite. I just put in the link of when the event would start and people clicked on it and they just showed up. So YouTube can be a viable option as well when it comes to delivering a live event. You could do a YouTube live. It's really, really simple. It is so simple to do a YouTube live. The other things that you need to make sure is if you're going to do your own event to show your credibility and to show your expertise delivering either through a virtual presence or just showing off your skills, make sure you upgrade everything. There is a video. I think there's a video on our iFind You Close YouTube channel. I kind of did a behind the scenes on what the live streaming studio here that I've created, that I'm using. I dropped in all of the links for the lights, the camera, the extra monitors. I mean, there's a whole lot going on so that I can at least deliver a good quality, high definition video. So I want to make sure that's something you think about as well when you're delivering just the aesthetics of everything. You want to make sure you look good. And the final thing is know your content. You are the expert. You know hands down what you need to do to deliver. If you're having trouble trying to create PowerPoints or slides, I highly recommend Canva. Canva can deliver PowerPoint slides, and in presentations, you don't have to move things anywhere. Canva has been, wow, like a godsend when it comes to doing your own graphics. So if you don't know how to use Canva, they have tutorials and things like that so that you can learn, but it's really, really simple to use a presentation inside of Canva, and you can just get things going. I will say this when it comes to one thing I haven't figured out in YouTube, because I deliver YouTube through another third-party software, and that's OBS, Open Broadcast System. I don't know how to share in YouTube, but the good old-fashioned Zoom, it's so funny. Zoom is good and old-fashioned these days, but a good old-school Zoom is perfect. I have done many, many things in Zoom, and the great thing is you can get the video and you can use it later. That's one of the things that we want to use, is have those videos so that we can cut them up and be able to put together our own little demo reels so that we can show our credibility. Now, of course, these are some very, very basic ways on creating your own live event, mainly in the virtual space. Definitely, if you have any questions around this, I highly recommend doing this. If you're feeling like you're hit a wall or you're trying to get some credibility, doing one of these workshops or doing a live event in a virtual sense is great, because that way you can start inviting. And that's the thing that I didn't mention and I want to mention now. This is where you start inviting people to see you speak. Send them the link. Don't make them sign up for anything, especially for people, if they're corporate people, if they're people who run associations. Find the people and invite them. Send them the link through LinkedIn, through Twitter. Just make sure that they have the link and you have sent them that invitation so that they can come get a peek at what you do, especially if it is live. And the cool thing is you can see when people show up live and you can give them a shout out, their event and their name, their association. You give them a shout out once they show up live, because that's the cool thing about doing some of these live things, is that you can see who's watching you. That's cool. So those are just simple, basic ways of creating your own event. Eventbrite, use it, is amazing. Facebook groups, Facebook events, Facebook Live, if you want to deliver that way. The one I'm loving right now is definitely YouTube, but we have the good and tried and true, and it absolutely works, is Zoom. The cool thing with Zoom nowadays, you can create your own landing page inside of Zoom for people to sign up, and it'll automatically send the reminders through Zoom as well. So they are making it very easy for us to get started. The only thing is, you just need to get started. And if this is something you want to do, just go and do it. If you have more questions about more detailed nuances about this, just let me know. I just wanted to kind of give a brief overview of of some of the things you can use to do your own live event. All right. And I think what we're going to do in September, coming in September and some future office hours, we're going to break down some presentation skills, some things to remember when you are going live, especially if you're using Zoom, if you're using YouTube. We're going to break a few of those little things down so that you can have more skills when it comes to getting to presenting very well on in a virtual live event setting. All right, people, I think that's enough for today. If you don't have any questions, I'm going to shoot off. Of course, if you do have questions, make sure you put them in the comment box if you're here watching us on YouTube. If you are inside of the iFind You Close platform, there should be a little button either at the top right that says discussion. Click on that. Add your question there. I'll be sure to pop in and answer anything you have. For those of you who have joined us from the Podfest Global Summit, I am still responding to some of you in the WOVA. Nobody knows how to say that in the app, but I want to thank you for signing up and coming and joining us here in iFind You Close. And if you're very new to iFind You Close, what we do is every Monday we send out speaking opportunities for those who want to get on stage. Go and check out our link at ifindyouclose.com. If you know it's time for you to get on stage and you want more opportunities, let us do the research for you. That's what we're here for. So go check that out. And of course, we love that you're here joining us. So take care. Happy stage hunting. I'll see you next Friday. I'm not really sure what we're talking about, but I'll definitely see you next Friday. The list of topics are actually in our platform, so go check it out there.